The following session was recorded live in St. Louis, Missouri for the 2001 Annual International Association of Square Dance Callers. This is tape number 24, Contra-Traditional.
We have two illustrious people on our committee today, or on our seminar, and one is Mona Cannell right over here, all the way from Ohio, from Kettering, Ohio, which is Greater Dayton. And let's give her a nice warm welcome. And going south a little bit, down near E-Town. Anybody know where E-Town is? Elizabethtown, Brandenburg, Fort Knox, right? You live close to Fort Knox. Can I touch you? Stew Shacklette, let's give him a nice warm welcome. My name is Jerry Helt. Jerry Helt. And we're here for the benefit. Come on in. We need you. When we talk to callers, they say, oh, yeah, we do two contras and so forth. And it might be fun just as a demo, and I'm going to kick it off with a demo. I'd like everybody up in a circle, if you will, please. Can we get into a circle? We can be oval, whatever. I think that's what we're going to get by with, is an oval circle in here. Okay? Now, a circle contra is kind of a neat thing because you don't have all those ends and heads and feet and all that other stuff to fool with. So could we get every other couple to face another couple? Would you like to work into couples? Sure. I'm going to let you work it out because you're smart. We'll call it a bunch of couples. It's a pack. Okay, good. Now, we do have extras in here, which is quite all right. Everybody's going to have that option as you go around the circle. So if you see two guys come holding hands, well, you know. What the heck? This is called a Spanish circle, sometimes called a Sicilian circle, or it could be called a mafia ring, couldn't it? Yeah. Could be that. And I think Caucasian, yes, okay. Now, we have a circle, one couple facing another around the circle. How many use this particular setup to do things in? Yeah, it's a great teaching tool in square dance movements and contemporary dancing and whatever. Let's circle forward to the left for the folks you meet. Good. Circle to the right. And it's vitally important to get back to where you started, okay? Everybody pass through, move on to the next. Everybody right-hand star. Back by the left with a left-hand star. Let the two ladies do-sa-do. Two gentlemen do-sa-do. We'll get you room. Circle up forward to the left. Suck it in, fella. Circle to the right, go the other way back. Everybody forward up to the middle and back. Do it again, that's nice. Good, everybody pass through, move on to the next. Let's put it to music and see what happens, okay? That's good, that's cool. Right hand star, go. Back for the left. And the ladies, do-sa-do. Gentlemen, do-sa-do. Circle forward to the left. Circle to the right. Everybody go forward up to the middle and back. Do it again. Pass through to the next. Make a right-hand star. Back to the left. And the ladies do-sa-do. Gentlemen, do-sa-do. Circle up forward to the left. Go. To the right. Everybody go forward up to the back. Do it again. Pass through to the next. Make a right-hand star. Say, howdy do. Back for the left. Say, how are you? Two maidens do-sa-do. Two revolutionary soldiers do-sa-do. Circle up forward to the left you go. Circle to the right. do-si-do. Now the younger folks do-si-do. Circle up, 4 to the left you go. Circle to the right. Everybody go forward, up to the middle and back. Do it again. Pass through to the next. Everybody bow to the people you meet. All right, good, good. Lo and behold, I see contra lines out here all of a sudden. I really see that. With this couple right in front of me, would you face down to the end of the hall? We're going to call that the foot of the hall down there when you walked in. Bob, would you face up to this couple right here, and with the next couple face down? That's the two glorious guys together. And we'll do the same over here. Let's get couples facing down, couples facing up. Isn't that amazing? That is amazing. In most contra dances, you progress up and down the hall or down and up the hall, either one. And let's take the same thing that we just danced and do it sort of as an up and down contra. And I'm going to change the music a little bit, make it a little more traditional. Now the problem arises, what happens at the end of the set? And by the way, this happens to be the head of the set up here where we are, and the other end happens to be the foot of the set. So we have a head and a foot of the set. Why don't we just pass through? Good. Now, we got folks on the end of the set with no one to dance with. Nobody loves them. Would you folks just trade places like a partner trade, California twirl without hands, or just cross over? Okay? Those who can pass through. We're facing a brand new two. Let's do that again. Pass through. What do the outside head and foot people do automatically for me? Okay? Those who can pass through. Oh, let's dance. Here we go. You ready? Intro coming up. Very little introduction. You're ready with the right hand star right after that first note. Ready? Right hand star. Back for the left. Ladies, do-si-do. Gentlemen, do-si-do. Circle up 4 to the left. Go. Circle to the right. Go forward, up and back. Do it again. Pass through to the next. Make a right hand star. Back to the left. And the ladies do-si-do. Gentlemen do-si-do. Circle up 4 to the left. Circle to the right. Everybody go forward, up and back. Do it again. Pass through to the next. With the right hand star. Go. Back for the left. Ladies, do-si-do. Gentlemen, do-si-do. Circle up 4 to the left you go. Circle to the right. Forward, up and back. Do it again. Pass through to the next with the right hand star. Go. Back to the left. And the ladies do-si-do. Gentlemen, do-si-do. Circle up 4 to the left. Circle to the right. Everybody forward, up and back. Pass through to the next. Everybody bow to the people you meet. Good. All right, good enough. Okay. Would the inside lines that are on the in the center, would you face towards the wall? Would the other folks face towards the wall? Towards this wall over here in this line? Would everybody advance forward and have a seat? Or whatever. Okay, the record number, Summertime Dream is on Chaparral. It's been reissued. And it's a C1010. It's a nice, that was the first one, the circle contra. The second one happens to be Galicia Sherbrooke. You ought to know this number by heart. I can't even see the number on this thing. Where is it?
10073.
10073, and it's on Folk Dancer. Those happen to be available. He has 14 million of them that he'd like to get rid of. Summertime Dream is a nice piece of music for sort of a modern style contra, and Galicia Sherbrooke's a very good number, and it also, and the flip side of this, which is Wright's Quick Step, is a great piece of music. It happens to be a 6/8 or a jig step piece of music. Yes. Palomino has, I know they have the Summertime Dream. It's just been reissued. Now, I don't know, how about Galicia Sherbrooke? You might have, yeah, talk to this man right here. Okay, we're warmed up right now. I'm going to turn this over to Mona. And Mona has reams and reams of paper over here with little notes on it. And I'm sure she's going to be very enlightening to this group. So let's give a warm welcome to Mona Cannell.
Thank you. I decided that I would approach this maybe in a little different way. One of the things that affects square dance callers when they decide they would like to try to call a contra is the availability of music at their fingertips. Not music they have to go out and get, but music that they already have. So we're going to do a little bit with music that you already have in your box today. And the other thing that we're going to do is to try to develop a way for you to put on a record of your own and make a good decision about whether it's appropriate for a contra or not. But before we do that, I want to talk just a little bit about places where contras are introduced, and they're almost always introduced by square dance callers who call contras. One of the obvious places is the National Square Dance Conventions. We have a contra hall and a full program, and we introduce square dancers to contra dancing for all 3 days. The callers have to be ready to be able to put on a piece of music and do a contra. You don't have to do a hard one, but just get up there and do a fairly competent job of it and smile a lot. State conventions at regional events, sometimes there will be a contra hall. There are certain states that have had a contra hall forever and ever. They have resident contra clubs in their state, and so they're very conversant with the idea of having a contra hall, and there's a lot of square dance callers who know how to prompt a contra, who contribute to that effort. A new dancer dance party in your local area is a great place to get a little practice on calling a contra once you have worked at it with a group of friends or something. And it's a good place for you to expose the new dancers to the idea they can have fun with contras, and it makes it easy to repeat a basic till they get comfortable with it. So those are just a few of the places that you might want to do a contra. You might want to do one for a special club dance or a club affair. One occasion that comes to mind is St. Patrick's Day. People expect to have something a little bit different, maybe a little Irish music, what have you, and a contra dance is nice to slip in to go with that, just to make sure that it's simple and fun and everybody dances and has a good time. We have many sources of contra material. Books. Stew has an excellent book. Don Armstrong put out a wonderful book. There are books and books, and if you want to know about books, come and ask one of us or two of us that call contras, and we'll keep you busy till midnight. As far as music is concerned, there's only two things I have to say before I work with music, and the first thing is this: no sight timing allowed in the contra hall. No sight timing. The other one is no sight calling allowed in the contra hall. Contra and sight, timing, and calling just do not work together well. One defeats the other. Okay? All right. With all that being said, we have two kinds of records in our record case, and I hope all of you that want information have a sheet of paper to write on, because you are going to create your own list of your own music that you have in your record case right now that you can do a contra to. Okay? So if you don't have a sheet of paper to write on, come up here and get one. Now then, we have hoedowns and we have singing calls. Can you use any record for a contra? Well, I wouldn't. There are some that are recorded too fast. There are some that are not standard length. There are some that the music, quite frankly, without the voice of the performer, is boring. So you want interesting music with a good beat, a good arrangement. You want it standard length. Standard length, for those of you who don't know, is 64 beats in one time through the music, through the melody. Or 4 by 32. Is it 4 by 32? I'm trying to think. No, it's 32 bar. I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. It's a 32 bar or 64 beat chorus. Okay? The other thing is you don't want the tempo any more than 126 to 128 beats per minute. If you're on carpet, it should be the lesser of the two numbers. Now then, what do we have in our record case? Well, I just pulled a bunch of records out of my record case, and we're just going to demo a few, just a few seconds of them. Anybody who's interested, you can come up and look at mine. But what I want you to do is we're going to do yes and no. When we play a little bit of a record, I want you all to decide yes or no. Do you think it will work with the contra? Remember, contra needs a little bit more melody, it needs strong phrasing, and it needs to be an infectious piece of music. And you're going to decide yes or no. Then, if you have a record that is the same kind of thing in your record case, make a note of it now so you won't forget. And we're going to do that with a few records, and then you can come up later and look at what I have up here, and you can decide. Maybe you all have some of the same ones. One of the best sources of good music for contras is to go back in the singing calls and hoedowns that you used 5 years ago. Don't use things that your club is dancing as squares right now, because that'll be confusing to the dancers. But go back in time and get out some of that lovely music that you used to call to, and you'll be surprised how much your dancers will enjoy you bringing it back. All right, we have one here on Chaparral. This is a thing called the Golden Eagle Grand March. I'll bet some of you have that. This is on Chaparral. Is that a yes or is that a no? Yes. You do have to make some adjustments sometimes to these, but there's one record you don't have to buy. You've already got it. Okay, let me see, what else have I got in here? Here's a Grin hoedown that's been around forever. I think almost everybody has it. It's called Cinnamon Twist. Is that a yes or a no? Totally different sound from the last record. Okay? Some of you might feel yes, some might feel no. But did you all recognize two things about the music? It has a definite melodic line, and it is very phrased. Okay? Here's another one. It's on top. It's a thing called cruisin'. Okay, yes or no? That's kind of a nice little one, isn't it? Now here's something that's pretty different. I'm only going to do one more of these, and then we'll do a couple of singing calls. Actually, this one came out as a singing call, but I use it all-purpose pretty much. It's called the Music Box Dancer. Yes or no? This one generally winds up being very controversial. Some callers are very comfortable using it. Some dancers love it. Some callers don't. So it's pretty much up in the air. Now, we could go on forever on those, but we're not going to because we have a lack of time.
Tom's not in here. Tommy, come on in.
We're going to move on to singing calls. Singing calls you have to be careful with. Some have very nice arrangements that are interesting, and some are very boring. Is that a yes? Okay. Now this one is top 25368A. This is a recent release. See what you think. Now, anybody who's using this currently as a singing call, don't use it for contra dancing until a couple years from now. However, I tell you, you put this on, they swing from the chandeliers as long as you don't overdo it. Eco on Sounds 2000. Now that'll just give you a little short glimpse of the things that are available to you in your record case. All of you have things that will work. It's a small world after all. Great contra music. If slowed down just a tad. Even Hey Lighty Lighty Low from long time ago. It's on Chaparral now, I think. I Don't Know Why I Love You Like I Do. Great for contras and quadrilles. I'm sure that all the contra callers in the room can give you dozens and dozens of examples. And boy, what a great way to use your records of the past. Okay, I'm done.
Let's see here. We've got a little... Good. Okay. Thank you, Mona. Great job. And give her a nice hand. Great. Moving on to Mr. Stew Shacklette. The guy's been around for about 100 years. At least 100, right?
I feel that.
There you are. You're on.
Thanks, Jerry. I'm approaching this from a little bit different direction. Mona's talked about music and selection of music, looking in your record box to find music. And Jerry, of course, showed you some easy ways to get into it. But in the past, we've had some of these meetings, and the big question was, I don't know how to call the crossover. Now, the one that Jerry showed you didn't have to cross over. You just stayed in a circle and danced it, or do the partner trade at the ends, which constitutes a crossover. But there are dances that we can do that you do not have to call a crossover. They don't have a crossover, and it's automatic. And one of the best ones is one that this gentleman over here wrote called the Primer Contra, yeah. And everything is automatic. If the people dance what you tell them to dance, you don't have to call a crossover. It's there. It's already done for you. And I have a handout that I want to share with you before you leave, because I've got about a dozen little dances in here that do not require you to have to call a crossover. And I'd like to just show you how maybe a couple of these work. We're not going to dance them to the music or anything, but I want to show you the combination. So if we can get you some couples up, and let's start with a standard contra line with boys on this side and girls on this slide over here. And we'll start from there and see what we got. Get you a partner. Now, at the CALLERLAB convention when we were in Louisville, Jerry was doing very similar thing that he's doing up here today, talking about contra and so on. And we had a number of people said, we need some easy contras that we can do without having to call the crossover and that type of thing. And I sat in that workshop and wrote about a dozen easy contras. This is one of them. This is normally set up so that you're working with another couple, one couple with another. So join four hands from the top of the set so you sort of see who you're going to be dancing with. And if you don't have anybody on the end, just wait. There'll be somebody down there in just a minute, okay? Now, drop hands again, if you will, please. And just the ladies. Now, this... have we got you straight? All the boys in one line? Chuck, are you a boy or a girl? Oh, I didn't recognize you. Okay. All the girls just walk down the center of the set and back. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn around, come back. All the men go down the center and come back. They got 8 counts down and 8 counts back. Will you allow for this when you're using contra? That's half the dance right there, gang. Half of the dance. Okay? Now, the 1s, 3s, and 5s, we're going to make you active because you're up close to the top of the set and you're going to be working down. 2s, 4s, and 6s will be working in this direction. Okay, 1s, 3s, and 5s. Just stay where you are. Don't worry about it. Swing in the center, 1s, 3s, and 5s. Face down the center. Put the lady on your right. It's just like square dancing. You got to put the lady on the right. Okay, go down the center. Turn. Alone. Come back to that couple right below you there and cast off around them. Cast off around them. Okay, good. Active couple swing in the center. Same active couple. Finish your swing on your own side of the line and back away. You've now progressed down one position. We've not had to call a crossover, and all the boys are still in the boys' line, girls are still in the girls' line. And it's a little dance that we called an easy one. Okay? And that's in this handout. Here's one called At the Meeting. This also was done when we were in Louisville at that meeting. And this is going to be improper, so we're going to have to change your formation just a little bit. 1s, 3s, and 5s cross over. Every other couple. Every other couple. Okay? And this goes very close to what Jerry just did earlier with the girls on the diagonal doing the do-sa-do. Girls do-sa-do. Men do-sa-do. Now the girls are diagonally to the right, men will be diagonally to your left, so the two that you're working with are the ones below you, remember. Okay? Everybody do-sa-do. The active couples, 1s, 3s, and 5s, the ones that cross over, go down the center. Turn alone, come back, cast off. Everybody, wait a minute, you're casting off with somebody down there, aren't you? No, just stay there. You'll fall into it after one sequence through. You'll have somebody to dance with. Okay? We should have lady, gent, and over here, gent, lady. You didn't cast off with that gent. Yeah, you should be on his other side if you did a cast off. There we go. Are you across from your partner now? Okay. Okay. Yeah, all right. Now everybody pass through. Is that right? Down the center, turn alone, come back to place. Okay. Unpass through. Golly. Let's try this. The active couples go down the center again. Turning, come back. Okay. To your place. No, don't cast off. Just go to your place. Just fall back. Okay. Now everybody pass through. Turn alone. Now I think I'm back in gear. Did you turn alone? Gents. Now this is another Jerry Helt gimmick. I stole this from him. Gents, if you have a lady on your right, scoot over next to her and hold her hand. And you and she, with a couple opposite you, promenade half. Passing left shoulders, gents. Left shoulders. Okay, now that in couple has moved up one place, you'll be dancing with somebody now, and we'll have a couple at the end. It's going to just... But you don't have to call this because this is automatic. This happens. Okay? Let's see. Where are we? Ladies, do-sa-do, diagonally to your right. To your right, ladies. Men, diagonally to the left, do-sa-do. Everybody, straight across with partner, do-sa-do. Active couple, that's 1s, 3s, and 5s. The couple at the head of the set, it's active now. Go down the center. Turn, come back to your places. You don't cast off or anything even. Yeah, I do want you to cast off. Pass through, turn alone. Yeah, you have to in order to get a progression. Yeah, cast off, please. Well, if you cast off, I'll let you do it one more time. Pass through and turn alone. Gents, if you have a lady on the right side, half promenade. Half promenade. Now, the thing about contra, you can't leave anything out. If you do, you're lost. Okay? You got to get all the figures in. Okay? How did you get over there, Bob? You should... No. Oh, you're a girl. I'm still thinking you're a boy, Chuck. Okay. No, that's all right. On the diagonal, ladies, do-sa-do. On the diagonal to the left, men, do-sa-do. Everybody do-sa-do your partner. Active couples, that's the one at the top and every other one down, the same active, down the center, turning, come back, cast off, pass through, turn alone, gents. Now, you don't have time to stop and chat on that pass through, turn alone. You've got to get over and get there so that when you hear this next command, you're ready to go. Gents, with the lady on the right, half promenade. So there's no crossover being called, but there's progression. Everybody's moving up and down the line. The actives are moving away, the inactives moving up, and that's one with an improper formation. Let's do another one here. Yes. Okay, there's a good question up here. If you start with a dance with all the men on one side and all the ladies on the other side, like a Virginia reel, it's a proper. Everybody's in their proper places. If we change every other couple over like we did here, it becomes improper. And the beauty of the dance is that you have a number of formations that you can dance with these combinations. You can have what we call a duple minor or a double minor, two couples working together. What you're doing here is a duple. Or we can have three couples working together and have progression down the line. That becomes a triple minor. But those I wouldn't worry about. If you're just getting started, just think about the simple ones to start with, and then once you get into them, then it becomes easy for you. Let's see. Cross all the men back over your side. This is the men's side on this side. Yeah. I keep thinking Chuck's a man. Okay. This is another way, the same thing. And this is a duple again. So join four hands from the top so you know who you're dancing with. This is your little foursome. And normally in order to align the people up to let them know who they're dancing with, we do this a lot. Join four hands from the top so that everybody knows. Okay, go back to your places. The top couple in that little foursome is the active couple, the working couple. So active couples, go down the center with your partner. Turning, come back. Cast off around one person, a boy around a boy and a girl around a girl. Cast off. Centers go around the ends. Anytime you cast, the centers will always go around the outside people. You never cast outsides to the inside. Well, with a few exceptions. There's a dance called Patty on the Turnpike that has a casting in. But normally you wouldn't. You'd be casting out. Inactive couple. You know who you are? Okay, go into the center and go down with your partner. Go down, down, down. Turn and come back. Go back to your places. No casting or anything. Just back to your... Everybody, go down the center with your partner. Turn alone, come back to places. Right hand star with that foursome. Star left. Left hand star. You're working with the same foursome you're working with now. Don't change foursomes. Okay, right hand star, left hand star, and you're back in your lines again. And we have a progression. So the couple that was at the top is now the second couple down, and the couple that was down there is up this way. So you got, and no progression has been called, or you didn't have to say cross at the head and cross at the foot type of thing. It's automatic. It's part of the dance. And there are a number of these in this little handout that I have here for you that I want you to check from. Some of the traditional type dances that we do, let's see. One is called Opera Reel, one is called Tunnel Contra, one is called Needham Special, another one Washington Quick Step. All of these are dances where you will not have to prompt a crossover. If you just set it up the way it tells you, proper or improper, and whether it's a duple or a triple. But they're here, they're available for you, so there are dances available that are real easy. Jerry started out with this session earlier. Put on that... let's see. Let's have 1s, 3s, and 5s cross over. No. No. Yeah. Summertime. Okay. 1s, 3s, 5s, 7s, cross over. You did that. Okay, this is Jerry's little dance. the center. Go. Turn around. Come back to your places. Men down the center. Turn around. Come back. Everybody with your partner down the center. Turn. Come back. Face your partner, back away, 2 lines, pass through, turn alone. Gents, with the lady on your right side, half promenade. Ladies down the center. Come back. All the gents, do it. All the gents, undo it. Everybody with partner, do it. Turn, come back. Face your partner, back away, 2 lines, pass through, turn alone. Gents, with the lady on the right side, half promenade. Okay, and I don't know how long ago he wrote that dance, but it's been around forever, but it's a beautiful little thing that you can get started with, and you don't have to call a crossover. It's automatic. If the dancers do what you just told them to do, the crossover is built into the dance, so you don't have to worry about a crossover. So, for those of you that are interested, I have some handouts up here. We're welcome to them, and that's about it.
How about a nice hand for Stew? Very good. All right. Anybody know? I don't. Lost track of time. Something like that. Doesn't say. Doesn't give us.
Is that a singing call?
It's a singing call.
Okay, that's
yeah.
what I thought. Break time.
3. Okay. If you'll all have a comfortable seat, why, we'll talk about all this. We'll kind of profile the group, and people have questions, comments, whatever. Let me say this, that when you have a session like this, and you're a new person, first exposure maybe to trying contras or whatever, you ask about questions, and they say, I don't know enough to ask a question. You have very knowledgeable people up here, and let's just open it up. If you have a question for us, yes. Answer it, Mona. Do it.
The question was, when you're going through the music in your record case, don't you have to pay attention to whether the music comes out in 4 or 8 beat phrases? Yes, you do. However, assuming that you're familiar with your music and you know where the introduction of it ends, it is very easy to tell. All you have to do is, if you can say, let me see if I can do this right. If you can listen to the music and you're a caller and you can figure out without thinking about it where to say sides, face, grand, square, you're probably safe.
Add something to that, if I may. We have a question. Let me add something to this. Okay. In addition to that, Mona talked about standard music earlier. A standard tune will have 64 counts. The first 32 counts are usually 8 counts repeated and then 8 counts repeated. So you got 16, 16 gives you 32 for the part A of the music. Then the music would change to part B. You've got the same thing. If it's an 8 count melody, then it's 8 count, 8 count, 8 count, 8 count for 32. If it's a 16 beat melody, then they play it twice for part A, twice for part B. And that gives you your total of 64 counts, and that's standard. But you'll find some contra dancers, you just can't take any dance you see here and go out and start calling and say this is going to work, because it might be a 48 bar jig or a reel. So that means 48 bars is a whole lot more than the 32 bar. So that's that you have to have probably a C part to that music that you're not counting on.
This ends the front side of your cassette.
I'm so happy you asked that. Now, I may have to repeat. I'm not sure whether you picked that up. Did you pick that? You didn't pick the question up. The man, Robert Osgood, asks, if you have 15 squares in a hall and you'd like to do a contra with them, what is the easiest way to set them up into contra lines? From squares. What, could I get 2 squares on the floor? A demo, pictures are worth 1,000 words, folks. Sure. Two squares. Okay, I think we're all set. Where's number 1 couple? Would you promenade inside the set? When you get home, face out. Would number 2 fall in behind 1? 3 fall in. 4 bring up the rear. Face your partner, back away. And we're in proper lines. Now, proper means ladies on one side, gents on the other. Up until the middle 1700s, most all dances were danced in proper lines. And beyond the middle 1700s, and on a little farther, the dance masters said, why don't we mix the ladies with the men? And there was a revolt in the dance community. They said, it's obscene dancing the men with the ladies and the ladies with the men and mixing the lines. But we got over that hump, didn't we? Yeah, we got over that. Okay. Oh, yes, Bob.
How about going to system 22 and put us automatically from squares into crossed over lines?
Well, let me go through one little thing before we do that. Could I do that? Okay. I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing. I know exactly what you wanted. But I didn't go that route. Okay. We're going to have some questions here. Would everybody cross over? What is that called? What is it now? No? Is it a proper line? Yes. What kind of a proper line is it? It's a crossed over proper line. Crossed over proper line. Okay? Could I get 1, 3, 5, 7 to cross over? We have an improper dance right now because we've gone on beyond the 1700s, and we have an improper dance. Now, you use this big word on us, duple. Duple. You really threw me off on that. Double. Why don't you say double instead of duple?
More classy to say.
More classy to say. Well, duple is the established term. If we could have the first 4 join hands, the next 4 join hands, that's a lovely group. The Muscle Brothers. All right. Now, we're getting into this terminology of which we're supposed to get into according to the list here. We have a duple minor dance, crossed over dance. Improper. Duple minor. Ooh, improper duple minor. What does that mean? It is a minor group within a major group dancing. Okay? It's improper, and it's a little duple groups in there. Okay? Would everybody cross over? Now, what are we into now? Let's hear it. It isn't a proper. It's an improper duple. Good. Yeah.
This is a proper improper duple.
This is complicated, folks. This is complicated. Okay. If you were in a normal... Let's go back to squares again. I'll do what Bob Osgood wanted me to do in the beginning. Side ladies chain across. Heads face your partner back away. Is that all right? Okay. Now, I'd like to just demo for a second. Would everybody cross over? Wait, no. Don't do it. Don't cross over. We're going to start here at the head of the set. Would 1, 3, 5, 7, every other couple face down to the foot of the set? Would the other folks face up to the head of the set? Move together a little bit. We started our program out today with this particular setup. What? Yeah, kinda. Now, we're going to go back and do that little dance that we danced in the beginning. And I'm going to do it a couple ways, and I want you all to take a vote. We're all going to take a vote on it. What is wrong with this picture? Okay? Everybody, right hand star. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back by the left with a left hand star. And the ladies, do-sa-do. And the gentlemen, do-sa-do. There's one little thing that I didn't do, and I'm going to have to do it. All the 1, 3, 5s, and 7 face down. All the others face up. Because that's going to be our direction of progression. Okay? Everybody circle forward to the left. Go once. Make sure we get back. Circle to the right. Back to place. Everybody forward up to the middle and back. You want to keep up and down, up and down, up and down. Everybody pass out, or pass through. And on to a new couple. Good. So we cross over at the head, cross over at the foot, pass through in the middle. Everybody pass through again down there if you can. We got a brand new couple to dance with. Okay. Here we go. Here comes the test. You ready for the test? I'll do it several ways musically, and then we're going to talk about what we were doing musically. Okay? Here we go. Ready? Make a right hand star. Back by the left. And the ladies, do-sa-do. Gentlemen, do-sa-do. Circle forward to the left. Circle to the right. Everybody forward, up and back. Twice. Pass through. What was wrong with that picture? Okay, let's have the other folks pass through. And I'll do it again, but a little different way this time. Right hand star. Back for the left. And the ladies, do-sa-do. Gentlemen, do-sa-do. Circle forward to the left. Circle to the right. Everybody forward, up and back. Do it again. Pass through. Okay. What was the matter with that picture? No, I did not. Would you pass through, those who can? Everybody ready? Right hand star. Back for the left. Ladies, do-sa-do. Gentlemen, do-sa-do. Circle forward to the left. Circle to the right. Everybody forward, up and back. Do it again. Pass through to the next. Okay. What? No, 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 no.
Well, you're going to run out of beats on the pass through. You don't have enough counts on the pass through.
Not enough counts on a pass-through. Any other evaluation?
I felt like you kept the forward and back in the circle. Clip time.
Got your clip time on me. Okay. Well, let's, with the center folks pass through, cross at the head and the foot. And there's an old song that we sing as kids. And as we're kids, we probably phrase, babies phrase. When they cry, they phrase. And when they get a little older, what's the first thing that kids do to each other? Verbally, not physically. Na 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 na. What are they doing when they na na na? They're phrasing. Okay? What's one of the first songs that a kid might learn to sing? Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, good. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I'm going to kind of sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. How many bottles of beer on the wall? Well, you're from a different generation. You'll be meeting at the, what's the one? Bill W. meeting. Yeah, they'll be looking for you. Okay, I'm going to go Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And you start with the right hand. Ready? And Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, how I wonder what you are. Left hand. Da, 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 da. Sing it. Da, 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 da. Sing da, 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 da. Okay, we don't have to da, da, da. Now, that was the correct way. Now, what we did the first time that with the music, here's what happened. I'm going to let you start the dance, and I'm going to start singing. Ready? Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. That was the first time through. Second time through, maybe I haven't got the two mixed a little bit. Okay. Ready? And up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Well, we could start with a star. Okay, have a seat. Let's talk about it.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Could I have one square stay up there for just a second? Just a second. We're not going to dance. I just want to show you an alternative. A square, yeah.
Need a couple. Any good-looking couple. Man needs a lady.
Okay.
You'll do, sweetheart.
All right. The quickest setup for contra lines I know works like this. Side couples lead to the right. Everybody face your partner and back away. And you're there. Which takes your floor approximately 5 seconds to get there and do that. And now they're ready to dance. Okay? If you're doing an improper duple. All right, get back in your square for just a second. Let me show you one other thing. Head couples slide over to the right beside the sides. Okay? You have your partner beside you facing another couple. This is called Beckett formation. And you can set it up by having heads lead to the right and circle forward and make a line if you want to. This is the formation that Slunch to Donegal is done in. However, that is not the best Beckett for square dancers. There are many others. Some of them are much simpler and some of them are more difficult. But it's a nice alternative formation. I want you to slide your lines of 4 to the right 1/4 so that you're facing up and down. Turn. Okay? This is called a mescalanza line. All right, lines of 4 facing up and down the hall. And you can set them up by having the sides lead to the right and circle 4 if you want to. Okay? That's all.
Thank you, Mona. Very good. All right. callers come to me and say, what's the simplest thing that I can do to do a contra with a group? And I would suggest that you do something that's fast, simple, and you don't have to teach half the night to get them to do it, and they're going to get discouraged because it's a completely different form for a lot of people. Square dancers get up and say, I don't know if I want to do this or not. They're tongue-in-cheek when they get involved in it. And you don't want to sour people on contra dancing. You don't want to get up there and do something that's very complicated, and then you're not real sure yourself what you're doing. And that presents a problem. So we're always looking for material that would be simple and nice and maybe fun to do. And if I could get 2 squares up quickly, we'll do one. Just the fact this happens to be on our tape. I've really tried to research this dance and find out where it's actually. I found out that it was a bush dance from Australia. I don't know if you're familiar with the bush people from Australia, but they're Scottish, Irish, and English that have lived back in the hills a little bit, kind of like our Appalachian people. We need one couple back there. One glorious couple. Yeah. No. That's a different one. Bush people. Has nothing to do with our El Presidente. No. So we're looking sometimes for material that we can do maybe a contra from just a square. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Would number 1 promenade inside, same old stuff we did before. Face out, 2 fall in behind. 3 fall in and 4 bring up the rear. Okay. Now, you might want to offset the line, face your partner, and you have proper lines. Let's just move this square off to my right a little bit, move the back square off to the left so you don't get involved with those other people. They have their own problems. Okay. We have a head of the set. We have a foot of the set. We have an active head lady. I'm going to make you active. And with the head lady, with all the ladies join hands there in a little group of 4, and I'd like the head lady to lead all the ladies around, circle around the guys and back to place. All the way back to home position. The number 1 man lead all the ladies, or lead all the gents. Excuse me. I'm having a gender crisis up here. Number 1 couple down the center of the set. Come the same way back. Separate down the outside go. When you meet her at the foot, you got an option. If you want a dos-a-do, if you want a swinger, either one. Or none at all. I could care less. Back up, you're there. It happens to be a train dance called the Kingston Flyer. Kingston Flyer. And we now have a new engineeress. Would you call it engineeress? Or she is engineeress. And a new engineer. Okay, with the lead person, which is the engineer, take them around the opposite. Good. The 1 man lead him, the engineer, go. That's the way I felt when I got up this morning. Number 1, down the center of the set with your own. Come the same way back. Separate down the outside go. Hook on the end, and you're now the caboose. Now, lo and behold, we had to modernize it a little bit, so we picked up a train song. Number 1 lady, get ready to lead them on the train. Here we go. After the whistle blows. Wait a minute. Lead them, go on the train. One man lead them on the train. Number 1 down the middle of the set. Same way back. Separate, go down the outside. Do-sa-do. 1 lady ready, lead them on the train. One man lead them on the train, go. Number 1 down the middle of the set. Same way back. Separate, go down the outside. Do, sa, do, and you meet her. One lady ready, lead 'em on the train. One man lead 'em on the train. Number 1 down the middle of the set. Same way back. Separate, go down the outside. Do, sa, do, when you meet her. One lady lead 'em, do the wild thing. Anything wild. Come on, get wild. One man lead 'em, do the wild thing. Come on there. Get wild on me. Woo! Number 1 down the middle of the set. Same way back. Separate, go down the outside. Do, sa, do, when you meet her. One lady ready, lead 'em, do the wild thing. Come on, get wild, do something wild. Innovate. One man lead 'em on a train. Get wild, go, do it. Woo! Number 1 down the middle of the set. Same way back. Separate, go down the outside. Do, sa, do. Both of the leaders lead 'em and do the wild thing. Go. The other ends lead 'em and do the wild thing. Why not? Number 1 down the middle of the set. Same way back. Separate, go down the outside. Do, sa, do, when you meet her. One lady lead 'em, go, do a little wild. Get wild for me now, yeah. One man lead 'em, go, do a little wild now. Come on, be innovative. There you go. Number 1 down the middle of the set. Same way back. Separate, go down the outside. Do, sa, do, when you meet. Everybody forward, up and back. Forward again and blow the whistle. All right, good. We have about 15. Why don't we all change positions? Let's all sit down. Okay, that happens to be a freight train, happens to be on a Blue Star label. Hot dog. Number 2410. Freight train. The name of the dance is called the Kingston Flyer. Comes from Australia, down under. An announcement, the International Dance Council. Could you fill us in on that? Here, come up here and give us a scoop on this.
On a mic?
Yes, on a mic.
The International Dance Council of UNESCO has declared for the last 8 years that April 29th is International Dance Day, and they urge all dancers, dance groups, dance companies to do performances, to do public dances on the 29th of April in celebration of International Dance Day. It makes a very nice hook to hang publicity on if your club is dancing on that date, which happens to fall on Sunday this year. Anyway, you can send a little note to your local paper saying we are celebrating International Dance Day. UNESCO is located, the International Dance Council, CID, is located in Paris, and their email address is cid@unesco.org if you want more information. I'd like to see square dancers and contra dancers and folk dancers of all kinds get on board this. Let them know in Paris that we are doing this because they don't know diddly squat about contra square dancing, and let the dancers know if they're dancing on the 29th of April, they're part of an international group of dancers.
Thank you. Yes, that is not Paris, Kentucky. It's Paris, France. Yes. Kingston Flyer. Kingston Flyer. Name of a train. We have about less than 15 minutes. We'd like to do just a summary, a rundown of what we've danced, or not what we've danced, but what we've talked about. And if you have questions or comments or whatever, we're going to start with Mona. We'll get Mona, Stew, and then we'll wind it down.
Just like to reinforce a couple of the ideas that I presented. You have music in your own record case that you can use for contra dancing. Just make sure that it's well phrased and that it has interesting melodic structure, interesting arrangement. You can find them amongst your hoedowns and amongst your singing calls. And if you have any questions about any of that, come and ask me afterward.
One thing I might mention, and this is really, I guess, in the form of information from ContraLab. I know we're at CALLERLAB, but there is another organization that is an international organization of contra callers and prompters. We have developed a programmed text, self-paced programmed text that teaches you how to identify the musical phrases, how to identify whether it's a standard tune, and so on. There are 6, here's a copy of the whole thing up here. There's a tape that goes with it where you have some interactive stuff where you work with the tape. That can be purchased through ContraLab. All the money goes back to ContraLab for furthering square dancing or contra dancing there. So there's no profit or margin for any of us on this type of thing. It's not a commercial, but it is available through ContraLab. The glossary of terms has an explanation of all the terms that are used in contra dancing, and in the back of that there's a list of musics with the record numbers and the record labels and all that good stuff. A lot of singing calls that are used, they're listed in there, and a lot of the folk dancer music that is available is also listed in there as part of that package. It's an interactive program where you must do something, send it to a mentor or a monitor. He, in turn, or she, will review this and send it back to you and say, yes, you're doing it correctly, or no, you're way out in left field, start over. And then when you get to the session where you use the tape has certain exercises where you have to identify the music will play for a while and just stop dead, and you have to say what musical phrase that music stopped in, whether it was the first one, second one, third one, or fourth one. And that makes you recognize then those musical phrases. And then it goes into actually teaching you how to put the command to the music, where in that musical phrase you start that command, and it goes through a whole contra. By the end of the thing, you should be able to call a contra dance, and your monitor will be listening to the tape as you send it back to him and making comments on it. And we've had some success with it, and if anybody's interested, it can be obtained through ContraLab. Okay, we have a number of people who have volunteered to be monitors. Any of the ContraLab people, I've had 2 or 3 people that I've been monitors for. I don't know whether Mona's had anybody call her, but Deck is one. Eddie Ramsey. So there's a number of people, and we try to get somebody in your area that would act as a monitor for you, so you don't have to send it, over in Europe to get it. Who? Yeah, Glenn, I think, is also. Yes. Yes, we have a scholarship program where monies are available for people, just like most of your callers associations and things do have, scholarship activities going on. But if you're interested in a scholarship for going to someplace to learn how to call contra, then of course you can apply through ContraLab, get the information through there, and fill out the necessary forms. But there is monies available for that type of thing. Our meetings are normally at the National Convention, because that's where most of the contra callers are together at any one time. So we sort of correspond our meetings with the National Convention, and we usually have a dance that's called an Energizer dance, like on a Tuesday, to sort of get everybody charged up about Contra. Because after you've danced for a while, man, you're really, hey, man, this is great, let's get with it. And then at the meetings and things, everybody's charged up and we have some super activity going on. But if anybody's interested in becoming members, or the scholarship that is available through ContraLab, or any of the materials that is developed by ContraLab, we'll certainly make them available to you. Yes, question? Yeah, you can send it to me. Since I'm the president, I'll take care of whatever that you need to do. My address is 460 Long Needle, 2 words, Road, Brandenburg, Bradenburg, Kentucky, 40108. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, any other questions so far on that? Okay, Jerry.
Sudden discomfort, did you say? We in our process of talking about music and so forth, and Stew made reference to jigs and 2/4 music and 6/8 music, and that's very complicated. No, it isn't complicated. The little Felicia Sherbrooke number happens to be a 2/4 rhythm. Everybody familiar with what 2/4 rhythm is? Most of our square dance music is 2/4 rhythm. Another major rhythm that's used in Contra happens to be a jig rhythm. But we actually dance it like a 2/4 rhythm. Very uplifting piece of music. Jigs are... What's that? Don't have a hornpipe here with me. Maybe Stew might have a hornpipe. Okay. That would be another rhythm. Waltz is also used in Contras. And polka. Which polka is 2/4 again. We're back to 2/4. Well, anyway, I'd say a hornpipe is between a jig and a reel.
Jig has 3 letters, reel has 4.
Yes. Okay, as soon as we hook up our... Okay, and we'll plug this dude in right here, and we'll listen to the horn. The name of this hornpipe is Denton's hornpipe. Oh, Vinton's hornpipe. Okay. Yeah. Very danceable music. Very danceable. Okay. Oh, I thought you had a control on. I thought you had a control on this thing. You're out of control. Yeah. Our thanks to Mona. Our thanks to Stew for being here today. We thank all of you for being here today, and we hope that you'll go out and spread the word. And I might say this: if you try Contras, get a little educated on it. Read a little something about it. Get a little background before you jump up and say, well, Contras are nothing more than little figures in little groups of 4, little square dance groups. We've had this happen where a caller says, well, I'll do swing through, boys run, wheel and deal, pass through, on to the next, spin the top. And that's really not good contra dancing. We need figures that fit the music and repeat. He mentioned about an A part of the music, a B part of the music, and all that is part of the music that makes it danceable. Yes?
Please, when people are setting up contra lines from squares, tell the dancers what you're doing, particularly if you're going to link them in one long line. I saw about 160 people turned off the contra forever because the caller set them up in contra line and failed to tell them that they would be working their way down through the whole hall.
Right.
They broke down, people walked off the floor in the middle of the dance, everybody went home mad.
Yep.
There was no excuse for that.
I would suggest, not to brag, but the first little dance that we danced today, where you had up and down couples, where you're going up and down, it's pretty hard to foul that up. You can get those people to move up and down. When you start doing the swinging and face across and down 2 and up 4 and all that, you may get into trouble. Don't get into trouble with it. Have it well rehearsed before you get up and present it. And there's a sneaky way of doing that, and I know of a contra caller who always apologizes about, I hope this works, and I'm not sure whether it's going to be all right. And people are saying, oh, we'll help her. We'll get up and do it. And she suckers more people into contra dancing, and they just work so hard for that person to get up and dance with her, and she's got everything down pat. You know she's got it. Somebody had a hand up. Yes?
I was just going to say that in the beginning of the program, I think you mentioned about being Western square dance contras. Now, there are traditional ones. Now, how do they differ? And are there certain dances that are done traditionally and not done Western, or vice versa? Or
tough question. I think we're talking maybe music-wise to a certain extent as to whether it's Western or not. And I think when we get into contemporary figures like flutter wheels and swing throughs and movements that we do in the contemporary field, that would lean to a Western style contra. A traditional style would probably be a little more traditional music and maybe a little more traditional figures being danced. There's a fine line here. It's pretty hard to say. Some people in the Western field say that, well, we don't do ladies chain in 8 counts, and we don't do right and left through in 8 counts. But really, if it's a contra that has any feeling at all, it'll probably be pretty much timed out so you're dancing a comfortable dance. Yes? On the mic.
Yona Chalk from Hawaii. We dance with a traditional contra group with live music. They call themselves a New England style contra group. They use only traditional music to avoid the BMI ASCAP licensing problems, and they are adding flutter wheel and a few other Western calls to jazz up their contras.
What instrumentation would you use with Hawaiian guitar?
Actually, we have sort of a fluid band that flows in and out. We have a keyboardist with an electric keyboard that can play anything on that he can dial up on the rhythm section. But we have traditional Irish drums, we have penny whistles, we have banjo, mandolin, the whole bit. The band is fluid. Sometimes we have the keyboard and a violin, and other times we have about 27 people who all turned out at once to jam.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you. It is 3 o'clock. If you have any additional questions, you might want to come up and talk to these good people, and they'll help you out. Thank you for being here. We had a good session.